Hello, my name is Name the Nerd, but you can call me Name, which is totally easier to remember than Nerd. And yes, that is really my name. You could just look me up in the phone book. Or can you? Yes, today's episode is going to be on the extinction of the phone book, and whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing. You see, phone books still exist nowadays to a certain extent, but are you going to find somebody's cell phone number in the phone book? Probably not. When I was a little kid and I wanted to invite a friend over for my birthday party or something, all I had to do was find their parents' name in the phone book and then call them to invite them or send them a letter to invite them. You can't do that anymore. Now, there's no way to track down a home phone number because nobody has a home phone number. And if they don't have a home phone number, then their address sure as heck isn't going to be listed. Now, there is the white pages online, and I've used that a couple of times before, but you're still not going to find a cell phone number, and when you do find an address, there's no way to tell what part of the world you're going to be sending it to for your birthday party. Hey, I finally found Joe! I didn't know he lives in Texas now. And is 80 years old. Of course, there are some pros to this cultural evolution. When I was a slightly older kid and had a crush on a girl, I actually found her address in the phone book and dreamed of the day when I would be able to show up at her house one day and surprise her. Of course, I never did, and besides, I was young and I was stupid and I was still figuring out how to be, properly. Anyway, my point is, not having phone books today can prevent creepy stalkers like me from doing any harm. It can prevent wrong numbers too, to a certain extent, since all the numbers that we call anyway are saved into our phones by the owner of the number. And I should also add that Facebook has kind of become the penultimate phone book, because you can organize those events and birthday parties by inviting people to them, and you can even find people's addresses and phone numbers on their Facebook page specifically, should they consent to share that information. So much is on the internet nowadays, it's no wonder that people can give consent to anything at all. The ultimate irony is that the fact that no one could give consent to their names and addresses being in a phone book, but everyone depended upon that book's existence for the culture and society of a town to function at all. It's really weird to see how times have changed. After all, one can argue that the world is more social than ever, more public than ever, but the fact that you can't find a phone number in our world today would seem to contradict this standpoint. So is the oncoming extinction of a phone book a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I don't know. In my opinion, I think it's a shame that the time-honored tradition of a phone book is going the way of the dinosaur and the dodo, but at the same time it would seem a lot safer for people to just give each other their phone numbers or to use Facebook as a connection. But what if people don't have a Facebook or don't have access to the internet? This is a hot-headed discussion, and I think that you guys can do well by talking about it in the comments below. In the meantime, I have enjoyed this conversation that we've had with each other this week. I will see you next week, and until then, my name is Name the Nerd. Peace in Christ, and imagine on. This is my end screen song. It won't last for very long. Just click a video, or maybe subscribe, comment below.